Welcome, beautiful souls. Today, I want to talk about that feeling of abandonment and being rejected by the masculine. So, welcome. I am Kathleen from Awakening Meraki. Now, one of the big core wounds that comes up through this journey is that abandonment, that real rejection wound that comes through, and it's quite overpowering. It's probably one of the biggest things that really triggers the feminine is that abandonment and that rejection. And so, I want to talk about this because I want to be able to help people to really see the truth of what this journey is about. So, when we first have soul recognition with our twin and then the energies repel, what happens at that point is all the fear-based energy comes up, and it's huge, right? That's why we go through big ego death, we go through big oscillations. What's actually coming up is everything that sits in your subconscious. So those thoughts where we feel abandoned, useless, anything disempowering that we call ourselves, is all energy that's sitting in your subconscious, and it's all those words are low vibrational energy, and they're all in your energy field. And so what happens, throughout life, is we sit in this perpetual cycle, recycling basically the same disempowering words, and so they keep coming back to us in different experiences. So if you imagine, like you're a globe and you're just going around and around and around, but what's in your energy field that's around that globe, right? Or circle, however you want to articulate it. But if all you're pouring in is low self-worth, I'm disempowered, I've been through another relationship and I feel abandoned, but that you jump into another one and you haven't learnt the lesson, what happens is you go round and round is the energy just constantly recycles itself. And so this journey is about shifting what you are cycling. And first of all, what needs to come out is all of those layers of those wounding, these limiting belief patterns, which are just simply not true, but they are cycling around you in your energy field. When you start shifting that inner dialogue and that narrative about how you see yourself, because this really is a journey about self-mastery, how you see yourself. And so we need to change that self-concept. We need to shift the narrative, shift the story, so that you no longer feel abandoned and rejected. And so when you start shifting that, what happens is and you see the layers that soul's bringing you of the disempowering versions of you, you will stop believing in them. You'll let them cycle out. And it is uncomfortable, that process, absolutely. But energy moves in cycles. So that's why it will cycle back round. And it's like, I thought I dealt with this, but then it will come up a bit more and you're like, now I'm going to deal with, like, really get rid of it, transmute it. And in that process, you're refilling through your consciousness, which filters into your subconscious, beautiful, empowering, abundant, like your limitless thoughts. And then you're putting new beliefs in there. So this rejection and this abandonment one that comes up, and it comes up, look, everything will come up in the subconscious until you transmute it. All your stories about the masculine, that they took off, that they abandoned me, ran off into another relationship, those stories you must collapse, because otherwise you're just going to cycle in the same stuff. And I know it's not easy, but I want you to look at it from this perspective, okay? You are not ever being rejected. You are being redirected. So I'll say that again. You're not being rejected. You are being redirected. Your masculine is here playing a role. They are you pushed out, okay? So they are a holographic extension of whatever's going inside of you, inside that field of that I was talking about. And they have to play out all the layers of limitation and fear and scarcity that's sitting in that energy field, because you share it, until you can start to transmute it and start putting the new stuff in. Self-love, whatever, really beautiful words. You're being redirected back to you. the masculine will always redirect you back to you. You are your greatest teacher. I used to think the masculine was the greatest teacher, and I've said that on here. And yes, they are to a point, but I guess we could say you're one and the same, right? But you do become your own self-master. And as you energetically shift on this journey, what happens, and you stabilize your frequency, and you can hold, the feminine can hold her own pillar of light, that then allows the masculine to start doing their work. Because what happens as initially, we need the masculine to reflect, okay? And they may be doing it just energetically. They'll be doing it, because remember, everything's done at a quantum level here. So your masculine in the physical is literally just responding to the energy that's playing out. So kind of gone off track a little bit, but you know, you do become your own self-master. The feminine, when she holds her light, she's dealt with, she's released those karmic patterns. So I'm a big believer that we alchemize the karmic pattern that the masculine is in the physical, or whatever dynamics is playing out for them. Those are patterns that are in the shared energy field. They're acting them out, but we transmute it. And that's why it's really important to transcend past what's playing out in the physical and learn how to deal with the role that you play, which has been the alchemist, and transmuting all these cycles. And how you do that is through presence and consciousness, and seeing the cycle for what it is and going, I'm not going to act that out anymore, dropping the stories. The masculine will always reflect you. So if you are in old storylines and you've been in the story for years, they keep coming in hot and sexual energy, then you need to shift the narrative about how you're speaking about them, because they're literally you. So if you keep playing out that in your mind, oh, they just come in the sexual behavior, or they want this, they never come in and stay, drop that script. And I'm serious, drop it. Stop talking about it, stop saying it to yourself, stop letting that narrative run in your head, because they will keep playing it out. And I'm really strong with that. Stop being cycling in your own stories. And I mean it. Stop it, because it's holding you back. It's holding the masculine back. How can they come in their divine essence if you don't see them in their divine essence? But you're keep repeating stories about their lower versions of themselves. That means you're in your lower version as well. So you want to stamp it out, really stop it, and come into self-mastery. Come in and realize that all these stories, they're going to reflect to you, as is everybody else. Shift the inner dialogue. I don't care what the story is. You need to shift it, because it's going to keep you really, really stuck. And you are worth more than being in those stories. You are worthy of having a divine connection, a divine partner. But you must become the embodiment of it first. You must energetically align to that higher masculine and the higher feminine. And it's a frequency shift. And you do that through reprogramming, releasing those old storylines, and getting redirected back to yourself. The whole reason that you're on this journey is to come into self-mastery and release the things that you are not. And look, I know it's incredibly hard. I get there are people that have had some serious trauma. I totally get it. But if you keep repeating those stories, it will keep repeating in your 3D reality, because you are the creator. We all create our own individual reality. And the more you're in soul, the more you will resonate and get this. As the soul, you just want to create, and then you experience your creation when it comes into your physical. You really are creating everything in your 3D reality. So your stories have to shift. You have to stop the narrative and start creating new ones. I am abundant. I am a goddess. My masculine is divine. I am divine. That's what you want to experience. That's what you need to embody. Okay? And yeah, just remember, they are not rejecting you. They are redirecting you back to self, to learn these layers of yourself where you're holding yourself back. And when you are really in your divine presence and you can hold that pillar of light and and really anchor that in, it frees the masculine up, because we've dealt energetically with those karmic cycles. They'll start getting out of them. They won't be able to stay in them so long as the feminine is doing the alchemy work. Because, and this is where people stuck and get really looping on this journey, is that they don't realize the power of who they are and the power of the soul. And so they stay stuck in these stories, in the ego structure, looping and looping and looping for years. And the same shit's just playing out, because you need to change it. You have to change it. Otherwise, you know, you're not doing it for them, you're doing it for you. You're doing it so that you can get out of that stuff and create yourself the most stunning life. And you can, and you will, so long as you really redirect your attention back onto you. How am I contributing to this? What kind of life do I want to experience? What do I want to bring in? That means I'm going to become the embodiment of that, and I'm going to start focusing on that now, and it will shift. It will start slowly, and then the more you come into alignment, the easier it is for your 3D shifts a lot faster, because it's not working through all the layers of density. The layers of density are your stories. It's all the stuff that's been cycling around in your energy field. When you transmute all of that, and you're now recycling beautiful, fresh energy of love and just peace and joy, that shows up in your 3D. And yes, it will show up in the masculine as well. Anyway, so no rejection, no abandonment, okay? Drop that story. I know that you need to feel it. You need to let it run through your body, but don't believe in it, okay? Your masculine's truly not rejecting you. They are loving you by sending you back to yourself, so that you can learn to love yourself and love all these aspects of yourself, all these layers where you truly have felt really abandoned and rejected, but they're sending you back there so that you can learn to release it and come into the divine essence that they see in you. And when you start seeing that divine essence in yourself and really believing it, then they can start to do the same. Anyway, really hope that this video helps. If you need some help and support, I go deep dive into this in the masterclass. And you know, I know how easy life can be for us once we're surrendered and we're really in flow. And yeah, this journey really is a gift. You've just got to unlayer the gift, and it is a process. It truly is. Anyway, as always, sending so much love.